Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, Text 42. Durvasaya Muna Kulat Kartavasya Kagata Rajna Binanditastasya Bubude Chastitam Deya. The great sage from the bank of the Yamuna River had performed the necessary ritualistic ceremonies. He returned, being well received by the king, and he could understand the performance by intelligence. So he understood the signs that King Ambarisha had drunk water without permission. Text 43. Manyuna prachalan gatro brukuti kutilanana ubukshetascha sutaram kirtanjalim abhashata. With anger stirred up, his body trembled. His eyebrows curved, and his face also showed that he was hungry at the same time. And very much so, unto who stood there with folded hands, he made his address. Text 44. Ahuvasya nirsamsasya sreyunmatasya pasyata dharma vyatikramam vishnur abhaktasya sa maninna. Alas, this person is so cruel and puffed up because of their opulence. Everybody look at the transgression of the regulative principles by who is not a devotee of the all-maintaining. He considers himself an independent controller. Well, nowadays, when it comes time to break your fast, when the time comes, the time comes. But you should know the difference between the sun being low in the sky and behind some trees and behind the horizon. Text 45. Yumam matithim yatam matithyenanim mantriyacha adattava bhuktavams tasya sadhyaste darsaye palam. That unto me, being uninvited, had come here and was received as a guest after inviting me also, without giving, has himself eaten. Of him, immediately, of you, I shall show the result. Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Verse 12 has Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadgunah. And so in the ultimate sense, the secularist has no good qualities. I mean, certainly it can seem so on the outside, but deep down, because they're not devoted to the divine potency. And, as the success, whether it's outer or not, a devotee is always going to have success. I mean, as far as they're devoted, right? Text 46. Evam bruvana utpatya jatam rosha pradipetta tayasa nirmame tasmae krityam kalanalupamam. Thus speaking, uprooting a bunch of hair and red out of anger, while that bunch of hair from his head that created to punish the demon appearing just like a blazing fire to destroy. Text 47. Tammapatantim dvalatim asehastam parabhuvam vepayantim sambud vikshya nachachala paranarpa. That coming forward to attack him, blazing like the fire with a trident in his hand, making a footstep on the surface of the world, causing it to tremble, seeing him perfectly, not moved from his place, was the king. Text 48. Pragdishtam pratya rakshayam purushanama hatmana dadaha katyam tam chakram krudahim eva pavakah. Previously arranged for protecting the servants by the transcendent, the great soul burnt to ashes that created demon. And he did this with the disc of anger, a serpent like fire. Oh, maybe the demon was like with an angry disc and like a serpent, like a fire serpent. Text 49. Taram bin ravarud vikshya svaprayasam cha nishpalam durvasa dudruve bito dikshu prana paripsaya. Of that disc, moving towards him after seeing by his own attempt and having failed, Durvasa began to run, full of fear in every direction, with the desire to save his life. Well, sometimes when things happen on a spiritual level, we are given the chance to respond. Obviously, certain weapons and stuff, there's no response, there's no awareness other than, the moment of death when you get pulverized or something by the blast. Or Text 50. Tamanvadavad bhagavad rathangam dvagnir uduta sekoyathahim tathanu shaktam munir ikshamano guham vivikshu prasasara meroh. Unto who began to follow the disc from the chariot of the divine personality, like a forest fire, blazing high, having flames, as it follows a snake in the same way, as if touching his back. The sage, seeing like that, a cave, wanted to enter it, and began to move quickly to the Meru mountain. Sumeru mountain, I guess it's called now. Text 51. Deso nabah kshmam devaran samudran lukan sapalams tredevam gatasah yato yato davate tatra tatra sudarsanam dushprasaham dadarsa. In all directions in the sky, on the surface of the earth, within the holes, within the seas, in all places, as well as the rulers, the heavenly planets, having gone to that, wheresoever he went, there, everywhere, was the disk of the original vision. And he was extremely fearful. And this is, because of what he saw. Text 52. Alamdanathah sasada kutaschit santrasta chitto rantam eshamanna devam viranjam sammagan vidatas trahe atma yune jittata jasomam. Without the shelter of a protector, that always somewhere, with a fearful heart, a person who can give shelter, he sought, at last, to a light being. Viruncham, he approached. Liege Lord, kindly protect. O master the souls of males from the fire released by Aditya unto me. In text 53 and 54. Sri Brahmo Vacha Sathanam Madhyam Saha Vishvam Tat Kredavasanedve Pararda. Let me say that again. Dve Pararda Samjna Bru Banga Matranahe Sandidaksho Kalatmanu Yasya Terubhavishyate Aham Bhavu Daksha Burgu Pradana Prajasa Bhutasa Surasa Mukhya Sarve Vayam Yan Neyamam Prapanna Murdanyar Pitam Luka Hitam Vahamah. The noble, absolute, said, the place where I am, my residence, Brahmaloka, the whole universe. This is at the end of the period of the pastimes, the time known as the end of a Divya Pararda, simply by the flicking of an eyebrows. Indeed, when he desires to burn the universe of the form of destruction of whom will be vanquished, I, of the world, Daksha, the great saint, and others headed by them, the controllers of the Prajas, the controllers of the living entities, the controllers of the powers, headed by them, all of them, we also, whose regulative principle are surrendered to, bow our heads for the benefit of all living entities and carry out the orders ruling over the living entities. Okay, so he wasn't saying I'm Daksha. It's that me and individuals like Daksha and, through the list. Text 55. Pradyakyato viranchana Vishnu Chakropata Pitta Durvasa Saranam Yata Sardam Kailasa Vasinam, being refused by Viranchana, being scorched by the blazing fire of sustenance, of maintenance, the Durvasa went for shelter unto Sarvam, the resident of Kailasa. Now, I don't remember offhand what all these names mean, but of course the point goes beyond the meaning of the names. Text 56. Sri Sankara Uvacha Vayam Natata Prabhavama Bune Yasmin Paretnya Ape Ajajiva Kosah Bhavante Kalena Bhavante Hidrasah Sahasraso Yatra Vayam Brahmamah. The noble Sankara said, "We're not, O dear son, sufficiently able to, unto the great in whom is transcendent of the others, even Aja and the living entities, the universes, can become in due course of time, and not become. Indeed, like this, many thousands and millions, wherein all of us are rotating." So, light beings over any particular thing, there's a greater out there. That ultimately controls who's going to be created and destroyed and stuff. Text 57 to 59. Aham sanat kumarascha narado bhagavanajah kapilo pantaratamo devalo dharma asure mariche pramukhas chanya siddhasa paradarsana vidamana vayam sarve yan Mayam Mayayavrta Tasya Vis Varas Yadam Sastram Durvishaham Hina Tamivam Saranam Yahe Haris Te Sam Vidasyate. I and the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, and Sananda, and Radha, the divine personality over the universe, the son of Devahuta, the vassal of the light beings, Devala, religion, Asura, Maricha, headed by others also, all of them with perfect knowledge. They have seen the end of knowledge, and they can understand, not all of us totally, the illusory energy of whom, by that illusory energy being covered, his, of the Lord of the universe, the controller of the universe, this weapon is even intolerable indeed of us to him, therefore, go to take shelter with the divine potency, for you, that auspiciousness will certainly be performed. And so all the perfect beings, all the blameless beings, all the perfected individuals, all of them together still don't have a say to change a command of deity, that this will be created, destroyed, or maintained. But, you're still alive. There's a chance to repent, right? Text 60. Tato niraso durvasah param bhagavato yayau vae kundakyam yaradyaste srinivasa sreyasaha. Thereafter, being disappointed, Durvasa went to the place of the Divine Personality. He went to I forget exactly, the highest world, basically. Vakunta, wherein is the perpetual life of the noble Nivasa with Sriya. Text 61. Sandahyamano jita sastra vahnina tadpada mure patita save patu ahachyutananda sad ipsita prabho krtagasam mavahe visva bhavana. Burned with the heat, the blazing fire of the weapon. At his lotus feet, he fell down, trembling in his body, and said, Infallible one of unlimited prowess, desired by the truthful, O Supreme, the greatest offender, is may give protection, a well-wisher of the universe. Text 62. Ajanata te paramanubhavam kartam mayagam bhavatah prayanam videhe tasya pachitim vidatar muchyate yan namne udete narakope. Without knowledge of the inconceivable prowess, it's been committed by me, a great offense to the Divine Personality at the feet of devotees. Now, do what's needed with such an offense to counteract it. O Controller that can deliver, of whose name awakens even those fit for going to hell. Again, if anybody's alive, they can turn the direction one way or the other. Text 63. Sri Bhagavan Uvachaham Bhakta Paradino He Asvatantra Evadvija Sadubir Grasta Hridayo Bhaktair Bhakta Jana Priya. The noble Divine Personality said, I am with the devotee's will. Certainly, it's not independent, and it's exactly like that. Oh, spiritual functionary, by the pure devotees that are free of material desires. My heart's controlled because they are devotees. I'm dependent. Not only am I devotee, but also my devotee's devotee. So, those who serve the devotees are dear to deity, but perhaps we can render this with a little bit different understanding, because devotee, basically, you could instead say, instead of dependent on the will of the devotee has a will that's in line with the divine will, and that I am in line with the heart that is controlled, because they are devotees. And the devotee and those who serve them are ones that are also under my, will, or their will is agreeable to my will, or, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called himself Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasandudasa. And so, as part of our divine service, we can serve creation, but you don't worship creation like as if it's a god too or something. Text 64. Naham atmanam asasemad bhaktai saduber vinasrayam chatyandikim brahman yasham gatir aham para. It's not I that is in transcendental bliss. I desire with my devotees, with the saintly persons, without them, my six opulences also, the supreme, the absolute, of whom the destination I am the ultimate. So, but deity isn't limited by such things as the bliss. The bliss is a quality more for the benefit of the creations, right? And deity automatically gets everything that it wants. So, of course people are like, oh, well, yeah, but people have a choice. So if the created beings with the choice don't use their choice towards the best, well, don't blame deity, because deity gave you a chance to do better than just, be a tree. Or, I mean, nothing wrong with the trees, but you know what I mean. Text 65. Yedaragara putrapta prananvitamimam param hitvamam saranam yata katham tams tyaktum utsahe. Those whose wife, house, children, relatives, society at large, life, wealth, all of these, so elevation to the heavenly planets, are merged to transcendence. They give them up unto me, and having taken shelter, how such persons give them up, I can be enthusiastic in the way. Now, we can look at that and we could say, well, these 5 levels of love bind for God, the servant master. It's like, well, even if you have those roles yourself, well, you do that for deity. Parent-child. spouse, socially inappropriate one, and of course, in between servant master and parent child, you have the friend. Again, you do this for deity in its way, not just in its name, but in its way, so according to the consciousness and principles thereof. So essentially, these things stop being the thing for themselves. Surah 9, ayat 24 of the Quran, I think, is the one with the more concise way of saying, well, it basically makes the same point, but actually is a bit broader in its meaning, right? Text 66, Maya Nirbanda Hrdaya Sadava Samadarsana Vase Kurvante Mam Bhaktya Sat Streya Sat Patim Yatha. And the me, firmly attaching, the core of the heart, the pure devotee, and those who are equal to everyone, well, they treat things with equanimity, and under control, they make unto me the devotional service, like a chaste woman unto a gentle husband. And so the last word is as, but yeah. So we're not pulling that garbage that chastity or any virtue is lost in marriage. Certainly in marriage, things are continued, Things are continued that certain behaviors there wouldn't be a continuance of purity if this was out of marriage, Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter 9, verse 43. Sochetato vimukha chatasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharam udvahato vimudan. There's the material distress because of not being attached to the God of heaven. Then ignorance arises with the general people to a sense of the proper consciousness to have in the world. So, a devotee's chief concern is, to have that consciousness that these people aren't having. It's not quite the same thing as, they're not having it, so I'm going to have it. But yeah, they're not having God consciousness, so therefore it's causing issues. Text 67. Matsavaya pratitam te salokyade chatushtayam nachante savaya purna kuto nyatkala viplutam. Engaged fully. There's the automatic achievement. As such, of the 4 different types of liberation. Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, and Sareshte. And they don't desire, they're simply full and complete, without question of other things, which are finished in the course of time. And Srila Bilvamangala Thakura has said, Mukte Savayam Mukulitanjale Svate Saman, Dharmartha, Kama, Gataya, Samaya, Pratiksha. And so somebody develops their natural abilities towards serving the divine. And then the form is before them to offer all kinds of service. Then the individual is already liberated. There's no need to aspire for specific things. Text 68. Sadavo hridayam mahyam sadunam hridayam aham mad anyat tena janante naham tabyo manangape. Pure devotees in the core of their heart of me, the pure devotees also in the core of the heart. Indeed, I am of anything else but me. They're not knowing, and not I than them, even by a little fraction. Okay. Not only can you have this consciousness where you're not thinking of anything else, but the knowledge that we have is by divine permission. Everything that we have is by divine permission. So the consciousness of that can make having not as much go through a lot easier, right? Text 69. Upayam katha yashyame tava vipra sarnushvatat ayam he atma bicharaste yatastam yahe machiram sadushu prahitam tejah prahartu kurute sevam. The means of protection are what I shall speak to you of your deliverance from danger. Oh, your deliverance. Oh, priest, hear from me what I say. The action taken by you certainly is a self-envy for you, because of whom, to whom, immediately go and don't wait even for a moment. Under the devotees that apply this power of the executor does inauspiciousness. Okay, so if you have power and you use it against a devotee, then, that's inauspicious, regardless of what's being thought, right? Text 70. Oh, and he's supposed to go to who he offended. Because you just don't pray to deity, you try to correct things with those who you may have hurt. Text 70. Tapo vidya cha vipranam Nesreyasa kare ube teva durvinitasya kalpete kartur anyatha. The austerities in knowledge, and also of the priestly ones, of what's certainly auspicious for upliftment, are causes, both of them have austerity and knowledge, and certainly when such a person is an upstart, they become a performer. Just the opposite. Okay, so learning austerity, developing other abilities can have the opposite effect in an ultimate sense if, we're not having the right consciousness and tact about it. Our principles intact, that might be the word to put it. Text 71. Brahmams tangacha badramte
Nabhaga Tanayam Narpam Kshamapaya Mahabhagam Tata Santir Bhavishyate. Priestly one, therefore, go with all auspiciousness unto you to the son of Nabhaga, the ruler. Just pacify him as a great personality, and therefore peace will come to be. Madhva Muni mentioned the Garuda Purana. Brahmare Bhakte Kote Amsad Amso Na Ivam Barishake Na Ivanyasya Chakrasyape Tathape Harir Ishvara Tat Kalikopachayatvat Tasham Yasasa Adirat Brahmadayascha Tat Kirtim Vyanjayam Asur Uttamam Mohanayacha Da Ityanam Brahmade Nindanayacha Anyartam cha Svayam Vishnur Brahmadyascha Nirasishah Manushash Uttamadvacha Tasham Bhaktyadibir Gunaeh Brahmadir Vishnav Adenatva Jnapanaya Cha Kavalam Durvasas Cha Svayam Rudras Tathape Anyayam Uktaban Tasyape Anugraharthaya Tarpa Nasartham Avacha. I don't know what that's. Okay. All the demagogues, all the light beings, are under the control of the all-maintaining. When a devotee is offended, an offender is punished by the all-maintaining, who's the Supreme Lord, and no one can protect when deity says that, it has to come down. Not even an entity overseeing creation or destruction. But ultimately we find that his life is spared. The original vision isn't against him anymore. He becomes part of it, you could say. And he steps aside from having used his priestly position against someone. And he made sure his sons were taken care of. And he was humbled. Totally.